Hello YouTube, I'm very glad to be here with you once again. I'm here at Big Pond Park in North Augusta, South Carolina. I love this place because it's really relaxing. Um, Today I wanted to talk about my first experience over here when I moved. Before I moved to the United States, I did travel. It's not my first time in the United States. I did travel a lot, like for vacations. I went to Disney World and to Tennessee and Georgia and Florida and some southern states. When I was younger, in 1999, my mother and I traveled a lot, but it was at the north. We traveled in Pennsylvania, Harrisburg. We saw all those historic sites. We even traveled to Canada. I've been to Canada a few times. I love it there. But I want to talk to you about not my first experience with the United States, if not my first experience trying to find job over here, trying to move over here, and finding a life for myself and for my family. And this was the scenario. I was working in a collections agency that closed, that was about to close in Puerto Rico. They did not make the announcement that they were going to close, but of course, I'm a very smart person and I noticed that they were going to close, so I started looking for a job abroad. And I chose Augusta, Georgia. I live in Augusta because I have a friend over here that helped me with the job hunting, helped me settle over here, and I'm very, very thankful to her and for her family. And honestly, when I was applying for jobs, I didn't know nothing about South Carolina or about Georgia or about where the places are located, and I made the mistake. Instead of applying jobs near Augusta, I applied them like for Greer and for Greenville in South Carolina, which is about 2 hours from Augusta and North Augusta. If you don't know, guys, North Augusta is the borderline in between South Carolina and Georgia. So I'm like in between states all the time. I live in Augusta, but now I work at North Augusta. And my first experience was very peculiar. I was on a trip with my uncle. He was driving a car. It was this small Toyota Echo, and we were going from North Augusta to Greer, and we had to cross Greenville for that. And Greer is like this little place in the middle of nowhere in South Carolina. And I had an interview for Verizon Wireless as a sales rep, and everything went well with the interview. Of course, I didn't get hired, obviously, but everything went well. And when we got out, we were, making a small trip and see, the scenery around Greenville and, the land, because my uncle and I, we love to travel and see, things and take the scenery routes and take pictures and take video. We love doing that. So I don't know what happened in the city. Yeah, I was in Greenville. The stoplights, they changed too fast. Like, they don't give you like a chance from you usually get like a few seconds in between red, orange, and green. Well, this one went from green like straight to red. I don't know what's wrong with those stoplights. They're defective or something, and it seems like we ran a red or whatever, and a person that was on our side, they rammed us. They just crashed us. Whatever. I don't know if we ran the red or not. To me, it was green. We were just behind the tailgate of a pickup truck. I don't see any reason why we ran it. We were looking, I was looking. To me, it was green, but whatever. You know, the cops say an independent spectator or an independent person outside, or an independent witness, that's the word. An independent witness said that you ran a red. Alright, so we supposedly ran a red, and this Toyota Highlander just rammed us, and the car was a total loss. I don't know why she was driving so fast. She was like at 40 miles per hour. She was the only car that moved when we crossed the light. In my opinion, she ran the red, not us. But obviously, you know, we were foreigners. Just two Hispanics in Greenville, South Carolina. What the heck? Obviously, it's gonna be our fault, even if it isn't. So basically, the cops said, well, our fault. The car was totaled. It was a total mess. And that was my welcome package to the south of the United States. And I've discovered a few things over here. People have issues with the brake. People, like, they don't brake. They rather crash you, you know. They're really careless. Some people, not everyone. But, you know, you gotta watch out, because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of people with big trucks and big SUVs that they don't care. They rather crash you than stop for some stupid reason. And that was how you know, my first impression over here, you know, of the United States. You know, that I met a lot of good people. I mean, there are a lot of good people in here. The people, no matter what race or color, they're really good. You know, I've met a lot of good white people, a lot of good Hispanics, blacks, you know, from every race and color. I've met very, very good people. But there are some very, you know, in between those good people, there are bad people that they don't want you here. They are either racist or whatever. And that's my vision of the United States. This is a very good, modern, stable society, but it's divided. It's segregated. You go to other countries. I've been to Canada, and there's a lot of foreigners everywhere. I mean, I saw people from India, from China, from Russia, from Brazil, from Mexico, natives from Canada, Native Americans from Canada. They all live together. I mean, and they're not segregated. I visited Toronto, or how the Canadians call it, Orano, and they're not segregated. You know, they're all united over there, and they all live happily together. And there's this culture of diversity in Canada that I just love it. You know, I love Canada. If I could, I'd rather live there, but I also like the United States. You know, I love the United States. I love the American way, the American lifestyle. You know, it's not perfect. I mean, the United States is not a perfect country, but you know what? No country is perfect. And what we can do, you know, as people who are immigrants, people who are foreigners, Spanish Americans like me. I don't like to call myself an Hispanic. I don't know where that word even came from, but I like to call myself Spanish American. If you got African Americans, why can't I call myself Spanish American? I'm a Spanish American. I'm a descendant from Spain. Whatever. And what we can do, us, you know, foreigners and people who come over here to work, is to make this country better. That's the impression that I have in most immigrants. You know, people that come to the United States from South America, from the Caribbean, from whatever place, from the Middle East, from Asia. Most of them just come over here, and they're working people. They come over here and they work. They are good for the economy. They consume, they buy stuff, they contribute as doctors, as attorneys, as teachers, as professors. as mechanics, as IT professionals, whatever the field is. I bet you there is an immigrant or the descendant of an immigrant working over there, contributing to the American workforce, to the economy, and we're not stealing jobs. Many conservatives have the opinion that we're stealing jobs, and we're not stealing jobs. We are the workforce. We're not the lazy people. If we take a job over here in the United States, it's because one of you of the native people that live here turn it down. They don't want it, and that's what we're doing it. If let's say, and let's say, for example, an immigrant from Asia comes over here to practice medicine or to study and go to medicine school and be a doctor, and that person gets hired as a doctor in a hospital, it's not because he's a minority. It's not because he has special rights. It's because the hospital needed a doctor and could not find another person more qualified than that person, and that's what matters. Where you're from, what your background is, does not really matter. What matters is that you're good, that you know what you're doing, that you're qualified, and that you're able to contribute to the American society and to the economy in a positive way, no matter where you are from. And so here I'll leave you with my thoughts, and I hope that you enjoy this video. I'm a very technological guy. I want to incorporate to my blog obviously some tech reviews. I've been doing them I've done a few, not very successful ones, but I've done a few, and I want to improve on that, so I'm going to incorporate that to the blog. So if you like this video, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And if you want to leave a comment, just write it below. Just write it here in the comment box. If there's something special you want to talk about, just do a comment or a reply. I'll do the best I can to reply. Okay? So thank you for watching, and peace. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day. See you next one.